That says both working. I'm gonna flick it my way.
Is that Troy?
Yeah.
Yep, so, anyway, I'm good.
Keep watching, Troy.
Yeah, keep watching.
Sorry, folks, we do this to y'all every week.
Part of our bid. Can you hear me on the south side of the moon? Hello?
You got on the channel there, Carol Ann?
Yes, go ahead.
Test,
Okay,
test.
good.
Testy, testy.
We're good now?
Yes.
All right,
So if you
all
missed anything I
right.
said, so we had our weekend last weekend. It was very successful. Had a lot of dogs, a lot of handlers, and had some agitators come out and start picking up on what we're doing out here and the style of training we do. And I introduced Joey. He's one of our newer agitators. He's been at it for
You know your life's pretty damn boring when on weekends you go out and want to get dog bit for, you ain't got much else to do with your life. That's all I can say. But, Joey, he was a stepchild. What can we say? What'd you think, Joe? What'd you think about all the dog biting business?
I think the first or the most important thing about it is it doesn't hurt. That's the thing. Most people go into it thinking, this is gonna hurt. That there's some kind of pain involved. There's no pain involved. You got to come out and feel the sleeve you're wearing.
Boy, we got a surprise for him.
yeah.
Go ahead there, Joe.
So far, there's been no pain. That sleeve is almost bulletproof. Feels like when you're getting bit by a dog, you don't feel a whole lot. It's more the tug, the fighting with like their muscle, not really their mouth.
And
So, like, whenever I first started, I was obviously worried about the pain. I was also really worried about just messing it up and messing up the dogs and just doing it wrong. But I mean, with anything in life, you do it wrong.
Scott jumps on your ass.
Right? Yeah, and then you correct, and there's only one way to get better, and that's to mess it up a couple times.
Absolutely. Once you started, what level of expertise do you think you're at, and what level do you think you need to get to really be proficient?
Well, so when I first started, obviously I had no idea, I had no experience, and then now in my mind, I still don't really know a whole lot about anything, but
That's accurate.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
But
I feel like I've improved slightly, but
so do you see things?
I do.
Then you're,
a little bit.
then you're improving.
I'm picking it up more and more, just little things. Just I'm trying to get that motion down. When I'm coming up to the dog. Presentation too. Just really trying to get it to where I know that the dog is seeing what it's supposed to see.
There's what the biggest difference between the popular way of training today, especially if you're in a club that's all Malinois, is you've got these just really prey-driven dogs that are just going to go and bite. Stick something in front of their face, wiggle it twice, they clamp on. For a guard dog, and I actually think a better patrol dog or personal protection dog, but there's a lot of good protection dogs that are not trained in this style. A good guard dog is got to think through everything they're doing. So you've got to approach, the agitator has to approach the dog differently. It's not just a matter of making a noise and making some quick moves. We want to always balance prey and defense because both have advantages. Prey drive gives you that forward propelling, like when you see the mouse and just jump through 3 car windows to get to the guy in the 4th car. That's prey drive. But when you see the ones that are nailing something and just crushing bones, that's defense. And we want the combination of both. So it's tonight you did something where you saw the eyeballing, right?
Yes, sir.
Which is every agitator in the guard dog style of training is going to, every pass you make, every time you go to give a dog a bite, you're going to mix it. You're going to have a little bit of prey and you're going to have a little bit of defense, a little bit of prey and a little bit of defense. When you started making those simple little defense moves I showed you, what happened to the dog?
It's a completely different dog. I mean, the bite is different. The way they're vocal about it is different. Like especially with the eye contact alone, I noticed a massive difference in between like the before and after. When I made eye contact with that dog, it became personal
Right.
to the dog, to the dog, right? And so it starts pulling back more, harder. There's more vocal. Like while that dog is gripped on, it's letting out low growls, and just it's a lot different than when I'm not looking at it.
To give you an impression that he really wanted to kick your butt.
I would like to, yes.
Yeah. So these are the fine lines between the style of training that you would do in a guard dog. Because remember, a guard dog's got to apprehend somebody who's got what they call opposing digits.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and supposedly, I've heard this. It may not be true, but I've heard that they have a brain that makes them smarter than the dog. Yeah, you know, I could wonder. There's room for doubt. There's room for doubt, but that's what your dog has to contend with on their own. So we concentrate. Some of y'all may have heard me over the years talk a lot about canine martial artists and fighting styles. You know, we have 3 basic different fighting styles that you use for your guard dogs, and the whole purpose of that fighting style is to keep the dog winning, to keep him from being hurt by some illicit individual,
Mm-hmm.
you know, who might pick up a brick and try to pop him in the head, bust him in the head. So, what do you think about it all, Scott? We're running our mouths.
Well, it's good. As for, you know, the eye contact and whatnot, you know, some dogs are competitors. And that's a challenge, you know.
Yeah.
And it'll light them up, get them going, you know. But otherwise, you know, just all of it is when you're coming in and you just gotta, like I said, you see things, you know, and I don't know how to explain it really. Or I can, but I don't want to sit here for 3 hours, you know. Every dog is different.
Yeah.
So, you know, like you're saying with these club dogs, all these dogs get into a pattern.
Right.
It's a pattern. The dog knows after a while.
Yeah.
Then when you run dogs out here, to start dogs out here, it's a pattern. And it's not a bad thing to start a dog.
Right.
The dog knows when he's coming into that pen, what's happening. It takes someone to notice. When they come in, they're ready.
Yep.
And after a while, you see when you start alerting your dog, the dog reacts differently. The dog, you're alert, and the dog takes off and starts looking at the road over there. You know, after a while, once you get him into that cycle, it's like muscle memory.
Right.
Alert, boom, he's focused on the agitator.
Yeah. And Scott talking about every dog's different.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually get 1 or 2 phone calls probably a month from people asking me, how do you start a guard dog business, right? And I think a couple of guys have even tried it. I don't know. It's obviously a dying art. But in case you're interested, when he says every dog's different, what going into the guard dog business after being deeply involved in Schutzhund at the time, right around the edges of French ring at the time, what the guard dog business did was teach me a whole new way to look at everything. So, first place, sports are all breed specific. IPG today, I'm assuming you can't go to their nationals with anything except the German Shepherd. And French Ring is going to be all about Malinois and Mondial. So most all these sports started as a certification system for future breeding prospects. But this was done in Europe, where they actually want dogs that have a brain before they breed them. The essential basic exercises in Schutzhund were things that Max von Stephanitz came up with, along with his cadre of pals. Mondial Ring, of course, started in Belgium, and I have no idea who started the French Ring. It may have also started in Belgium. I'm not sure. but they were all literally started as qualifiers for
breeding.
breeding stock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even this, I've been looking around. There's even bully clubs, specifically all they train are bulldogs.
Mm-hmm.
Connie Corsos, just Connie Corsos, just
Yep.
American Staffordshire Shepherds, Staffordshire Terriers. You know, I know a guy that all they train are Malinois, Mouse. That's it.
Right.
You don't need nothing else but Mouse.
Right. Right.
That's not a bad thing because they know those dogs and they specialize in those dogs. But you know, it's a good thing to also study. I'm experienced. I'll study up on a dog. I'll read up on dogs. I'll try to get in the dog's brain. Certain breeds, Dobermans, Shepherds, Shih Tzus, Pits. I'm serious. Just to learn the characteristic of the dog. They all have a baseline genetic characteristic.
Yep.
But they're all bred for a certain purpose.
Yep.
But a dog can be, Mick. You could bite, but he can also go bird hunting. Bird dog hunting with him before?
I used to go pheasant hunt. I'd lease him out to pheasant hunters.
Yeah, he's a good,
Or quail. He flush quail boy.
There's no limit on it, but any dog can do.
Right.
But there are specifics on what,
They're best at.
yes.
Yeah.
You're not going to get a Chihuahua out here. You could. I've seen a Jack Russell Terrier almost take somebody's cojones off.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, but I'm just saying though,
We'll have to show you all that. We'll have to get Scott to teach some terriers how to do ball.
I got a
bites.
Frenchie's coming along pretty good.
You gotta-
Yeah.
that's where we're gonna teach Joe next.
I don't know about that.
Get a cup,
They
yeah.
don't make a sleeve for that.
Nope. No, they
No,
don't.
as for agitators, like what he's doing, he's seeing different kinds of dogs. It's not all one kind of dog. You're seeing different breeds, how they react, the age of the dog. And I said this before a long time ago. You can have 10 dogs of the same breed. You got a grand champion and you got a junkyard dog and everything in between. Mm-hmm. And the handler that has a dog also has a lot of influence on how that dog perceives things and how that dog acts. Mm-hmm. And just because you got a Roddy doesn't mean it's going to be like that bad boy Roddy down the street. It might be a playful boy, or depends on how you raise your dog.
Yeah.
Genetics plays into it. The owner plays into it. There's a lot of things that play into it. But when you start getting those dogs to learn how to bite, Roddy's going to bite the same way. His stance is defensive. You know that. He's going to come in at you, draw you in. That's automatic. And that's over time, after doing enough bites and doing enough dogs, you start understanding the breeds specific is fine, but you can also go in different breeds. Presentation's different. Agitation's different. Approach is different.
Yeah.
Contact is different. Even on the sleeve, it's different. Everything just changes a little bit on each dog. But it works on one dog, more working on another. So I know some guys that'll do the same thing for every dog they train.
Yep. Yep. And that's that's where I feel lucky of being in the guard dog business as long as I was, because you've got to get your product, you've got to get your guard dogs.
Mm-hmm.
And I had two choices. I could breed my own dogs and raise my pups up and wait a year before I could go put them out. I could purchase trained dogs from other people for, at that time, $7,000-8,000. I could purchase has-beens from other guard dog companies for $25,000-3,000, or I could take dogs off the street that people, the people who throw their dogs into the dog pound these days. They'd get what they thought was an aggressive dog, and I'm going to take him to the guard dog company. He'll have a job, and he'll have a great life, because I'm too lazy to train my own damn dog. Pardon me, it's a little personal thing there. But, so, when I started what ended up being a big company in El Paso, started my own company, I started with 3 dogs. And
Right? You had 3 dogs.
yeah,
How many did you have, the max dogs you had?
when I finished,
Yeah.
any day of the week, the last year I was in business, you could come on my yard, I had at least 40 dogs.
So you had 40 dogs.
Mm-hmm.
And you had one goal.
Mm-hmm.
That's the goal.
Mm-hmm.
They're all different.
Yep.
It goes with dogs come out here, people have dogs. There's one goal for a guard dog, protection dog. But how you get there, you have different avenues to take to get there. But the goal always stays the same. It's like a pyramid. The point of the pyramid is, the pinnacle is what you want, a finished dog.
Right.
But getting to that pinnacle, there's different ways to go.
You got to lay all the blocks right. You got to do them. For
Yeah,
each
but
individual.
every dog comes a different path going up to that pinnacle.
Right. And that's where I had the advantage, because I had people bringing me. I had the scariest damn dog I ever was around. Was a Great Dane Airedale mix.
Mm.
And let me tell you, this dog was scary. I also had a lady who said,
I've got a Springer Spaniel. I want to help me guard my house and keep the bad guys away. And you know what?
You do that too damn well. You know that, right?
Quit flirting with me, Joe.
Apologies.
So she had a Springer.
I saw you winking. Huh?
She had a Springer Spaniel. She wanted to.
Actually, it was at a training seminar I did in California. One of the ladies that was, I guess, one of the financiers, she had a Springer, and one of the boys said, "You can't get that Springer Spaniel to bite." And I will admit, it took damn near the whole week. But before I left, that little Springer Spaniel was going woof woof and grabbing that sack right out of my hand.
Mm-hmm.
That was the advantage I had. You know, I would never thought it was I don't want to train 20 kind of different dogs.
No.
But every dog taught me something. And that's more valuable than anything I've read or seen or heard or been taught. So I'm seeing that it ain't just agitating dogs. It's being around them a lot, different breeds, different dogs. Actually, I don't know if you do this or not, but I just sit down and just watch dogs. Watching them watch dog, right? But watching the dog's characteristics. Yeah. You drive down the road, I go to the store and someone has a dog. First thought I'll be, that dog ain't trained, right? No, I don't do that. But you got to call. Oh, go ahead.
There's a question.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's asking, his name is John,
Hey, John.
says, what is your opinion
Hey, John.
of the CAFIB temperament test, and can it translate to a capable working guard dog?
Yeah, the Kafid is I'm thinking it is some of the more exotic breed standards. I'm familiar with it, but not real familiar. I do know that it's one of the more practical tests that's out there. It's been. You could help me with the breed if you want to answer back. But from thinking back, it was one of there came a period in the late 90s and early 2000s where everybody and their second cousin was coming up with a dog something or another, dog sport, a dog test, whatever. And Kafid was one of the ones that was, quality, if I remember correct, and it was more designed in general than for breed specific characteristics. So I'm thinking it's a pretty good test. If you want to correct me, please do. Or if anyone wants to write in during the week, let me know where I'm wrong. I'll probably look it up when I get off the air to make sure. But it's a good test. It's a good test. You had something. I was going to do something on how to start your own security dog.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of little things. Here's a trick for you. All right. Every 5 years, something like that, the FBI does they send people out to prisons, and they ask them, how they broke into the houses, what was the easiest house type to get into, what deterred you, what keeps you from breaking into a house, and these are stats that they publish. It's either every 5 or 10 years, I forget which, maybe more often than that. And these are. I was in the security business. That was, that was my business, is learning about burglars and such. So, and I feel like, here's one. I got a story for you. People ain't gonna think. In El Paso, Texas, when that city was formed in the late 1800s, some of you heard me say this before, the poor Mexicans in Juarez across the river, to have a better life, it wasn't difficult. They crossed the border. Anyone could go back and forth. There was no border. And probably wait till the cowboys got good enough drunk, and then they just go, steal whatever they had, take it back across, and sell it. And that tradition has continued until today. So I feel like I had the opportunity not only to work all kinds of dogs, I also had the opportunity to work with some of the most proficient, skilled, professional burglars that you will find. I mean, these guys, to give you an idea, first let me tell you, the FBI report says that the two things that professional burglars, not the hopheads that just going for a $10 fix, want to steal your laptop and go get high. The professional burglars, the two biggest deterrents year after year after year are light and noise. If something's going woof, 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 the neighbor can look out. There's no reason in the world to go break into a house where someone may be watching. There's just no reason to. Just go 3 houses down. So with that in mind, get you some motion sensor lights at night. But even if you have a little yapper, here's a little something you can do with them. Right around sunset, dusk, it's the hardest time for dogs to distinguish things because of their nearsightedness. So it's a great time to pull this little trick. Hey, you get one of your kids or call Joe, he'll do it for $10. And have them put a ski mask on with somebody they know, and take your little pup over to one of the bigger rooms in the living room. And have whoever's over there, y'all can have your phones communicate back and forth, and tell the guy, okay, now, and have him pop up, tap on the window. When your dog looks at him, go, sick him, sick him, sick him, and have him drop down. Well, the minute he goes from here, looking at the dog, to here, disappearing, that motion when he disappears is going to catch the dog's attention. And that quick motion is going to kind of trigger a little prey drive. Did that rabbit just jump back in the hole? What did I see? And the guy's out of sight, he counts to 10, he sticks his head up again, and the dog goes, oh, hell, he's still there. And you kind of repeat that with you encouraging your dog. At some point, that pup's going to bark. If you got a tug or something you can reward him with, reward him. You're going to keep that up till all of a sudden, after 5 or 6 tries, you're going to say, what's that there? And you can put a command to this as well. And so, you pig is going to stick your head up, and your dog's going to go crazy at that window. You can take it a step further if you have a window that opens pretty easily. When they start barking, have your window crack, roll you up burlap sack, and when the dog's going, whoa, 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 you might, because we're going to have the window crack, you might want to leash if you got a, Connie Corso. And then have this person that's been teasing and taunting your dog from the window, put that sack in there, your dog will bite it, you can play tug of war, and your dog can win. You can do that by having someone knock at your door, open it and close it. Open it and close it. You're just making your dog suspicious about all these crazy people that appear and disappear. Appear and disappear. Now, that's for the professional burglars that are going to case a joint before you come in. How good do they actually get? I always ask people ask me for guard dog stories. I had a customer in one of the real nice parts of El Paso, and they called me and said they had a dog who came out and we trained, but their dog had died and they never called me. And they called me one day and said, hey, can you come out here? We'd like to talk to you about a dog. And I went out there, and there was a furniture delivery truck, and they were moving in appliances. And I said, oh, you're getting you some new stuff? And they said, yeah, we took a vacation, and we were gone for 2 weeks. And when we came home, our house was empty. I'm talking empty. Somebody got something, Carol Ann?
No.
Okay. So I said, what do you mean your house was empty? And they said, well, obviously we kind of panicked, and we ran next door and asked our neighbor we thought was, we know a little bit. And these are nice, big homes, and they're all a little half-acre plot. So there's a lot of space between the houses, and everybody's not necessarily cozy. And when I rang the doorbell, when they opened the door, they said, oh, Larry, we thought you folks had moved. And I said, why would you think that? And they said, well, we hadn't seen your cars or anything going on over there, and then the moving van came in about 3 days ago, and they loaded up your stuff. We thought y'all were moving.
Shit.
It was professional thieves that were casing the fancier homes, and if you were gone for more than 3 days, they just pulled the van up.
Ease on in there.
Ease on in there, load up everything they want to load up, and drive off. That's what I mean when I said I have worked with the best.
Damn it.
I have worked with
That'd be a shock.
Yeah, it would be.
I thought you were going to say they took everything, took the damn dog too.
No, doggy died. But But they did build a fence around the front yard. We did put one very large Rottweiler in that yard. So anyway, those are some of the unique advantages I've been able to get in the guard dog business. And we're gonna try and get this one where he's got the same skills someday.
It's coming.
Scott's gonna do everything he can for him, right?
Yep.
And especially laugh when
Not too much.
Not too much.
I laugh on the inside. But no, come on out on Saturdays if you want to learn more about what we do out here.
Yeah.
The door's always open.
Yeah. We train on Saturday mornings. As Scott said, if I may elaborate, we had a great crowd. We probably had a half a dozen, seemed like Western Shepherds out here, and I was way impressed with my breed. But we had Dobies and Rotties, and we'll
Press
probably,
Or is that press out?
Press Canario.
Canarios.
Yep. We might start doing a regular monthly, like now that the weather's better. First Saturday of everything, do a little guard dog training school.
And I know we've been talking about this a bit, and we're still debating how we're going to do this, but understand some people can't come on Saturdays,
Right.
but they want to come out, and they've been asking about during the week. So we might be restarting one night a week, and the Saturdays is in stone.
Right.
But we're going to see how much feedback we get, and we might be start getting some Tuesday night or Wednesday night classes. I was thinking
Yeah.
Tuesday training, and we used to do it before. We just the heat and the weather and everything else, it just kind of limited what we could do.
Yeah.
So-
If anyone's interested, or you know anyone local that's interested in Tuesday night training, let them contact us. If we get a dozen or so people interested, we'd sure be glad to.
We started back up.
Yeah. Might as well. It was a lot of fun. Any excuse to work dogs, right, Scott?
It gets pretty good towards the later months of the year, December, January, because the sun goes down so early. We can actually do different things in night training.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
come out of the shadows and
Right.
because the dog's always working same in light. It works good. There's different scenarios, but once you start introducing working in the shadows, it plays tricks on the dogs, and it's a whole different atmosphere. It's like working a dog on the grass or working them in here on this linoleum floor. You need to trying to expose your dogs to different things is the best thing.
Scenario training. You're not gonna. If you look into police dogs, you're not gonna find many police departments that are gonna tell you scenario training is the only way to get a tough, good police dog. Reliable, I should say. And so we do a lot of scenario training.
It builds dog confidence,
Yep.
builds handler confidence, gets agitated a bit more. It's all good. But because basically the dogs learn a lot from those scenarios, but the handler also needs how to react in different situations.
That's a good point.
It's not always in a pen holding the leash or doing a recall. It's actually walking down the street or
Yep.
coming out of a car or
And that's something that we if y'all get a chance, it's live on my Facebook page. I don't know if it's. I'm assuming you can scroll down and find that live thing that we did. We also went into what the handler can do if they're attacked by multiple attackers, and our secret weapon, our guard dog clasp on the end of your leash. We have a pretty good time knocking people out with that, and so there's way more to a personal protection dog than just a dog biting somebody in the armpit. Yes, ma'am.
And then you guys could actually go to their house personally
Yes.
and do a home.
We can do home break invasions also.
Yeah, home
Break
invasion.
into your house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can actually get all that mocked up and sequenced out and do it.
That's
As
something
an-
I haven't been a part of, but I would love to be part of that. Just seeing how they react, right? Like when it really comes
real
down
life,
to it,
yeah.
that's it.
But it's
That's
all-
where you figure out
A lot,
if your dog is gonna do what it needs to do.
yeah, a lot of the dogs will fool me once, but you ain't gonna fool them twice.
Right.
So.
Right.
But
First
yeah.
time it's like, what should I do? And second time it's, I know what to do.
Yep. You went to your home.
And you know what she's doing? Everybody look. I'm gonna show Traveler and how big she's gotten. Traveler.
All right, so thanks, Joey, for sitting in tonight. You're more than welcome anytime to come and sit with us
Of course, of course.
and give us your perspective on things from seeing it from your side of the fence too, because someone else's sight is always better than only one person's.
There you go, there you go.
You know, so always remember, folks, pyramid. We all start somewhere, and we all have one goal, and that's starting here and making sure it's all about the dogs.
There you go.
Thanks for showing up and joining us, and give us some likes and some shares, and hopefully we'll see y'all next week.